Hi Facebook fans, Dr. P here. I'm in rare form today. I'm really pumped up about this. This kind of stuff gets me fired up. Got a lot to talk about. I'm going to be all over the place, so try to hang with me. I'm going to teach you a little chemistry, and hopefully a few of you can learn some things. First, I want to just give you a little bit of a tour of my lab real quick, so you can see kind of what we do here, how we do it. I'm alone here today. It's Saturday. Nobody's here, so this is the GC room. This is where all the action happens. It's kind of noisy in here with all the fans and whatnot. And we have 3 GCs in this room. We have another one on the way. This GC here is dedicated to chiral analysis, which I'll talk about maybe later, or even do a special presentation on just that. Each one of these instruments is anywhere from $60,000 to $90,000 each. This is how we break down the chemical components of the essential oils. Maybe I'll do a video in the future. Maybe I'll do a video about exactly how that works if you're interested. Today I want to talk about, well, my video is titled Scamazon. I'm not saying that in a way to say anything about Amazon trying to scam you. It's not Amazon itself, but for some reason these what I call essential oil scammers like to sell their wares on Amazon. It's an easy outlet for them, and a lot of them hang out there. So today in particular, I'm going to talk to you about some lavender oil from a few different vendors who are very, very popular on Amazon. If you did a search on Amazon, you'll see, well, I'll talk about like who's the top rated ones, but these are some of the top rated ones. But before I get into that, I want to teach you a little bit about chemistry, about how we know these things are adulterated with synthetics. Okay, and since we're talking specifically today about lavender, I'm going to focus on some of the easy marks to look at when you're looking at a lavender analysis and to determine if it's adulterated with synthetic. Before we get into the actual analysis of the company lavender, I want to give you a little bit of background. 2 of the most important chemicals in lavender oil, and yes, essential oils are a collection of chemicals, organic chemicals, volatile organic chemicals, okay? And these chemicals can be made, a lot of them can be made synthetically. Some of them are not available synthetically yet, but a lot of them are. In lavender, the 2 most important chemicals are linalool and linaloyl acetate, okay? Linalool is a monoterpene alcohol. Linaloyl acetate is a monoterpene ester. It's basically the esterified form of linalool. When these are the synthetic versions of these 2 components that we have for reference samples in the lab. When these chemicals are made synthetically, they leave behind marker peaks, okay? Small trace markers that give them away when they're made synthetically, because the plant does not make these small marker. They don't exist in nature. So let's look at, for example, linalool. This is an analysis of synthetic linalool, which you can see there's one large peak because it is almost all linalool. However, when it's made synthetically, you see it leaves behind a lot of these little trace impurities, and these trace impurities can be used to mark the source of that particular chemical, okay? For example, in linalool, when it's made synthetically from petrochemicals, it always leaves behind this little trace marker peak called dihydrolinalool, and you can see it's about 1% in the linalool. This component, dihydrolinalool, does not exist anywhere in nature. So if we see this in a lavender oil, we know that it's been cut with synthetic linalool. Okay, the GC, a regular GC, cannot determine whether the linalool came from a synthetic source or a natural source, but it can see these trace marker peaks that are a dead giveaway of the source. Okay, so if the pure synthetic linalool has 1% of dihydrolinalool, then we can estimate how much of synthetic linalool has been added to the lavender oil. Okay. Likewise, this is a sample of linalool acetate. The analysis, again, mainly one large peak due to the linalool acetate. But again, the trace marker peak, dihydrolinalool acetate, again at around 1%, a little above 1%. Dead giveaway, this component does not exist in nature. So if we see this in a lavender analysis, we know that it's been cut with synthetic linalool. And we can estimate the percentage based upon the percentage of this in the final lavender analysis. All right, so this brings me to the first big Amazon scammer that millions of people are buying from, that claims to have 100% pure essential oil, this Rada Beauty. Okay, and it's not just their lavender, but today I'm just talking about lavender, so I'm going to focus on the lavender analysis. Look at it, 100% pure and natural Bulgarian lavender essential oil, premium therapeutic grade. Okay, anyone with any experience with essential oils, I'm telling you, can just smell this thing and you can know right off the bat it does not smell like lavender. And if you're not that experienced, then you might think, oh, well, this could be lavender. But this 4-ounce bottle sells for like $12.95, and it is almost all synthetic or compounded with chemicals from a natural source, but mainly it's synthetic linalool and synthetic linalool acetate, as we'll see here from the analysis. Okay, let's look at this. This is the analysis of the Rada Beauty lavender. Okay, as you can see here, dihydrolinalool at 0.25%, dihydrolinalool acetate 0.48%. These are components that do not exist in nature. Okay, so this has about 25% synthetic linalool and about 40 something percent synthetic linalool acetate. So let's say 65 to 70% total synthetic composition in this oil. Maybe more, well, actually probably more, but at least that. It does actually have some probably lavandin oil in it, as you can, this peak here, lavandulil acetate, very small amount, 0.35. In true Bulgarian lavender, this peak would be about 3.5% or 3.5 to 4%. So this oil may have about 10% lavender or lavandin in it, let's say, probably lavandin because it's cheaper. And there is a substantial amount of cineol and camphor and borneol, which should all be under 1% in a true lavender oil. And so it's probably a lavandin base with 10 to 15% lavandin, let's say, and the rest are chemicals. Now, this oil, like I said, does not smell anything like true lavender, but people are uneducated as to what true lavender smells like, so they think this is real lavender when they want to believe it is because it's such a great price. But you're not going to get pure lavender oil on the market, in these kind of small quantities, 4 ounces for 12, 13 bucks. You're just not going to get it. Okay, that's the Rada. Interestingly enough, another big Amazon seller known as Art Naturals is also selling, basically, I think it has to be from the same source. if you look at the analysis, we see about the same thing here. Again, the 25% synthetic lavender, or synthetic linalool, around 40 close to 40% lavender, 40 to 50% linalool acetate because of the dihydrolinalool acetate, and again about 10% of some natural lavandin or lavender, most likely lavandin. Again, smells pretty much exactly like the Rada Beauty. And also I would point out that these analysis reports pretty much match the synthetic lavender that I did the expose on in Walmart, selling for $3.97 for a 15 ml bottle by Sensationals / Rimports. Same. It looks like it all came from the same supplier. Okay, that's that. Now we also have this other big Amazon brand here known as Majestic Pure. Now they took a little bit of a different twist on their lavender compound. Again, we do see the dihydrolinalool at around the same percentage, so it's around 25% synthetic linalool, and we also see the dihydrolinalool acetate, maybe a little less, 35 to 40%. But this thing's got other stuff in it. I don't know. It's got a little bit of maybe some peppermint, some menthol. I don't know why that's in there. Carvone, maybe from spearmint. But here's the big thing: coumarin. When you smell this thing, it's so sweet because of this massive amount of coumarin, almost 2% coumarin. Coumarin is a carcinogen used in the fragrance industry for a sweet. It's an intensely sweet aroma. It doesn't take very much at all for you to smell. I can smell coumarin in an oil at 0.1% or less. This has almost 2%, and it's sickening sweet. This smells nothing like lavender. And again, coumarin is a carcinogen. This, no one would ever want to use this as a lavender because of the toxicity. I mean, I would just be scared to use this in any way, shape, or form, whether aromatically or any other fashion. But this is the kind of thing that's being sold out there again as 100% pure, authentic, therapeutic grade cashmere lavender. Ridiculous. Total, complete garbage. So, I hope this, maybe brings a little more understanding to about how we determine things like this that are going on. This isn't just, we feel like it's adulterated, so we think it is because we smell it or whatever. No, this is actual chemistry, science. We know this without any shadow of a doubt that this is going on, okay? And we can prove it in a court if necessary. But I have testified in court for various different cases, and I'll do it again if need be, because this stuff has to stop. These cheap fragrance compounds that are being sold as essential oils are giving the industry a bad name, and they are undercutting the companies that are selling good quality essential oils, spending the money to have them analyzed, every lot, to make sure they're authentic, and they can't compete with this garbage that could potentially injure people because of the way that they have been taught to use them, maybe improperly, which I don't agree with a lot of the way that some companies teach their people to use essential oils. But that doesn't change the fact that that's going to happen. So I'm not saying that Amazon, you can't get any pure essential oils on Amazon. But the only case that I would never order an essential oil on Amazon. I just wouldn't do it. I would never buy one at Walmart.
it's for the same reason I wouldn't go to McDonald's for a filet mignon. It's just not what I would do. There's just too much risk, because the majority of the stuff sold on Amazon, eBay, or in department stores like Walmart, big stores like that, the majority of the product sold there is adulterated, okay? That is a fact. That doesn't mean there aren't some actual valid oils that are sold on Amazon, but those cases typically are when the actual reputable company has an Amazon store. Why they do this, I don't know, but it happens, okay? For example, let me turn this around. Here is an example. Again, well, first of all, here, these are the top sellers. If you did a search on Amazon for best sellers, you'd see, Rada Beauty's up there. What is this? Healing Solutions. I've exposed them several times. They're selling garbage. Majestic Pure. Art Natural will be another one. Anyway, among all these scammers, there are actual companies that are selling on Amazon who are reputable companies who actually do analysis on their oils. For example, here's one, Eden's Garden. They have a store on Amazon. Why? I don't know. Again, it's a mystery to me. There must be a business, but it doesn't make any sense to me why a consumer would buy the oil from a reputable company on Amazon as opposed to the website, especially when a lot of times, for one, you don't get any info about the product. You don't get the analysis reports or anything like that. But if you go to the actual website, look, notice here, this is $18.95 for 10 ml of frankincense oil. But if you go to the company's actual website, it's $14.95. Now, why would you buy it from Amazon when you can get it cheaper from the website? And if you go to the website, you can go and you can see, a lot more and more companies are starting to do this. The good companies, they will give you the actual GCMS report for that oil. Boom, there it is. Guess who did this one? Haha. I'm not just saying this because I did it, but I'll show you another one. Again, cheaper to buy it from the site. And I personally would feel more confident buying from the site of the supplier rather than Amazon. But that's just me. Let's take another company. Plant Therapy. Same price, $14.95. Also, you can go to their site and you can see they also have an Amazon store. And you can go to their site, though, and you can get the analysis report. I didn't do this analysis report. They've never paid me for analysis. I'm showing you this because, there are some other companies out there that can do analysis. These companies, this one, also specializes in essential oil analysis. They know what they're doing. There are basically about 4 to 5 companies worldwide that really know what they're doing on essential oils. But why? Why are these companies selling on Amazon? Somebody tell me. I don't know why. Because I don't know. Price is the same. In this particular case, I think the price is the same. But I don't know. Maybe there's some business reason. Maybe they need the exposure. They want the exposure on Amazon because a lot of people search on Amazon. But again, I would not sell on Amazon. If I were a vendor, I wouldn't sell on Amazon. To me, it would seem like it would dilute the name. And again, I've never done business. I don't analyze oils for Plant Therapy. And I'm telling you, here's another lab here. Phytochemia, another lab. This is in Canada. They don't use me. I'm not trying to promote anybody here. These are good. And these other labs are cheaper than me. So, I have enough business to keep me busy. People, I don't care about people using these other labs. There are a few good ones out there. And just to show you, I don't even care about companies. I don't care who you use. I literally do not care. I just don't want people buying fragrance oils and thinking they're essential oils. I care about this industry. I care about quality oils, and I care about people knowing what quality oils are, and I don't want these scammers to cheat you. This company here, just to show you, I'm not trying to promote anybody. this company here, Nature's Gift. The lady that owns this place literally hates my guts. She hates me, okay? I'm not, that's not an exaggeration, but she doesn't sell, she's not a scammer. I would rather you buy from this person than stuff on Amazon that's fake. But again, I'm being as front as I can with you with these companies. That, again, in the case of Nature's Gift, that if I were on fire, that lady would not walk across the street to pee on me. But I don't care who you buy from. I really just don't care. As long as you're not buying fake essential oils, fragrances that are sold as essential oils. People think I'm crazy for saying this, but it's true. I just don't care. But let's go on to the next thing. There's many people out there who think that they're getting a pure product when they buy on Amazon. They think, oh, you know, they call it essential oil, it must be an essential oil. You just have to be a little bit more diligent. You have to find companies that are giving you a GCMS analysis report that is batch specific, okay? It should have a lot number on the analysis report. It should be from a third party, and it should be from a lab who actually knows how to analyze essential oils. If the company is showing you a report from XYZ environmental labs, you might as well just throw that report in the trash. It's going to mean nothing. These labs do not know how to analyze essential oils. They can show you the major peaks in the oil, but they don't know the finer points of essential oil analysis. They don't know how to tell you, like what I just showed you with trace marker analysis, which that one's a very common one. A lot of people know about dihydrolinol, dihydrolinol acetate, but even they miss those. These kind of labs, they miss the simple stuff. So it means nothing if it doesn't come from a lab who specializes only in essential oil or similar aromatic product analysis, right? So don't be taken by just any analysis report. Also, look at the report. The report should have a date on it. It should have a lot number on it. The lot number should match the lot number on the bottle you're buying. And if you don't have that, the analysis report has been tampered with. And we see that a lot. Healing Solutions, I've exposed them for tampering with analysis reports. They paid me to do some analysis reports for them one time, and then thought they were going to just use those reports over and over again to represent every lot they sold after that. And so I raised a big ruckus about it, and they finally took my reports off their site. But they're still using the reports from 2 other labs, which apparently don't care if their reports are misused. Because you can see there's no date on the report, and those reports are probably a couple years old. A report should never be more than a year old. There's no any reputable seller who's selling a decent amount of quantity is not going to have the same lot of oil for more than a year. It just doesn't happen. So if you see a report and it's over a year old, it's likely that that report is not the actual report of the oil that they're selling. So be aware of that. I think I've covered just about every bit of what I wanted to cover today, because there's so much to cover. I'm going to do future videos on this stuff, other oils, but I just wanted to focus on lavender oil because it's such a big oil, and I wanted to give people some tips on how to recognize fakes and how we do it in the lab. And so maybe you know a little bit more about the chemistry behind it today. Some people seem to learn better by a video format than just a post. But I am going to post all this stuff. I'm going to post the actual detailed results from each one of these vendors so that you can have something to share, to warn your friends and family about, to not buy these kind of oils, okay? Because they're not essential oils. They're not essential oils. These are fragrance oils, and should never be called essential oils because they're mainly synthetic. And not that I'm, I'm a chemist, so yes, molecules can be made synthetically,
that are the same as in nature if they're the same molecule. But when, for example, linalool and linalool acetate are made synthetically, they're not the same because, one, of the impurities, but two, we haven't talked about this, but there's enantiomeric forms of these molecules. So there's an L and a D form for both of these molecules, and these are like the right-hand and left-hand versions of these molecules. When they're made synthetically from petrochemicals, like in this case, you get a 50-50 mixture of the L and D form. Okay, lavender oil only produces 99% plus of the L form on both of those, or 98 to 99%, depending on linalool and linalool acetate. I don't want to get into too much detail here to confuse you, but it's all pretty much the L form of those molecules, and you know that makes a difference. The stereochemistry. You know, you may have remembered stories in years past about the wrong enantiomeric form of amino acids that injured or even killed people, because our bodies use all L amino acids, and some synthetic forms got into the supplements and whatnot, which were 50-50 mixture of D and L, and that could be a big problem. And so, in a lot of times, one form is completely useless and just pissed out. But in the worst case scenarios, it can actually be toxic or even life-threatening if it's the wrong enantiomer. So that's something to always be cognizant of, is that the synthetic routes to making these things does not often give you the same enantiomeric ratio that you get when the plant makes it. So I hope that's clear. If not, we're going to talk more about that in future videos. But just wanted to give you another update on what's going on here, and I hope that people will really take it seriously, and look for vendors who are reputable, who give you the reports, and who are doing lot-specific testing from third parties. There's several of them out there. It doesn't have to be from my lab. It could be from a couple other labs that are well known, Phytochemia and the other guy in France, and there's a few others. But just make sure of that, and then it's a lab that specializes in testing essential oils and not just a general lab. I think that's all for today. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something. Please like and share it, and as well as my page. I hope that you'll join me in the future. Thanks a lot, everybody.